We are back. It is draft week, baby. We got a ton to get to. I'm just worried that the next draft won't be voluntary. That's a story for another day. But
that is a story.
You saw Dune 2?
Oh, yeah.
David?
Fantastic.
Sure, we're going to talk about it on the show?
Fantastic.
I know you had a glowing review. It's a good movie.
I was shocked because I didn't love the first one.
Movie. You were shocked.
I was shocked because the first one was fairly inaccessible. I didn't really know what was going on. I have no relationship with the books, and I didn't think they really took that much time or effort to explain what was going on. Which, the first one had the burden of having to explain all of that, I guess, and the sandworms and all that kind of stuff. But the second one just got right off the bat. It was great.
Yeah, really good.
Told you.
It's a good, emphasis on good. It's a great movie. It's not Dark Knight elite, but it's
elite movie.
The NCAA approves a 2-minute warning and helmet communication systems for college football in 2024. The Nuggets take Game 1 from the Lakers as the NBA and NHL playoffs are underway. And Arch Manning lives up to the billing and shines during Texas' spring game. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to the Monday edition and the Fun Day edition of Crane & Company. Ooh-hoo! Now, college football has officially adopted the helmet communication pre-play for one person on the field and the 2-minute warning. Cool. This one really isn't a needle mover for me, and I'll tell you why. First off, to those who think signaling is dead, it's not. Just because the quarterback has a microphone in his helmet doesn't mean that you don't have to signal to all 10 other guys that are on the football field. It really just eliminates the quarterback having to get the signal visually from the sideline and can provide some quick insight on the field between a coach and player that you would only get typically after a drive or during a timeout. Remember, it stops 15 seconds before the play clock runs out or when the ball is snapped. It's not open the whole time. Now, if you go up tempo, this really doesn't do that much for you, but in a great stroke of irony, the advances in new technology may actually put us backwards in the time machine where huddling becomes sexy again. Just another example of how football and sports are really cyclical. Now, does this help prevent sign stealing, which is legal, by the way? Now, if you huddle, yes, but this isn't a Mount Everest size change. Like I said, this really isn't going to alter that much. Now, as far as the 2-minute warning, I don't mind it. In fact, early reports are that there won't be an added commercial break during this 2-minute warning, which I'm going to have to see to believe, to be honest. But a little pit stop never really hurt anything. It's going to help synchronize the clock as well. But the biggest change was kind of sneaky and may not have grabbed the headlines. And that's that now college football teams can use tablets, up to 18 of them, during games on the sidelines and in the booth. Now, a nice chalkboard or an easel is one thing. But having that handheld computer on the sideline is the ultimate visual tool and should make the game better on both sides of the ball. We've seen that in the NFL. So, here's the changes that actually make the game better. Let's get more of those and less of the BS. I'm bringing my co-host, former Michigan quarterback, knows a thing or two about a tablet. He's half Egyptian, David Cohn, and my brother, Blaine Crane, who knows about tablets, but has nothing to do with Egypt. David, your thoughts on these changes? I like them. I don't mind them. Do you believe, though, honestly, we're not going to get a commercial break during the 2-minute?
We're going to get more commercials, all right? You can best believe on that. But I want to talk about the helmet communication system. I played for 2 different offenses in college, polar opposites of each other, a huddle-style offense and then a no-huddle offense. So let's break down exactly how these 2 different offenses work on the field. In the first one, you get a signal from the sideline, not a full play signal, even though you have that capability, but let's just say A1 that corresponds with a wristband that the quarterback is wearing on the sideline. So quarterback huddles, goes in, looks what is A1 this week on our wristband, calls a play. Let's say speed break Dino, right wing U return, waggle 117 Fred, Z stud X over, or Uno Planet.
Of course.
The whole Offense, here's that play from the quarterback. You go to the line. Speed break Dino means dummy cadence. So you've given the quarterback 2 different plays for him to be able to make a decision. Dino 88, set hut, see if the defense will show his hand. If you like this double move play that you already have called, great, stick with it. We're going to run 1-1-1. Then you call your real cadence. If not, you can go ahead, hang loose. Let's go to our second play. We get a blitz. We get something, a look that we don't like. We're going to run our second play. The offensive play callers are giving a quarterback on the field 2 different options, and at least one thing in those 2 different plays is going to work against whatever defense you could face. So you're having to go and you're sending a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady type quarterback to the line saying, hey, run our offense for us. We're at least giving you a couple different options. The other way is no huddle. All right, we're going to send in the play via a signal or a sign or whatever you have now for the entire skill positions on the offense to be able to see what we're running. And not only that, you can still have a dummy signal, shotgun now, and then you're doing what's called check with me. Everybody, all skill positions are looking over to the sideline, to the coaching system, to the coaching staff saying, hey, we don't like this look. Let's change up our play. That's where the other team can see the signals that are going on. So I love, you breaking down the fact that we're still going to have signals if you're going to run no huddle offense. There's only one player who's going to have the comm system. It's identical to the NFL. They're going to be green dotted on offense and defense. Unless you put a comm system in every skill position player's helmet, you're going to have to signal in a no huddle check with me system.
Without a doubt. And, some places do it different. And Blaine, we've seen both of these throughout our coaching stops. You'll have different position. You have multiple signalers, like on the sideline for some teams that don't huddle. Yeah. So the wide receiver group are going to be looking at probably the wide receivers coach, right? You have the different guys for the offensive line. And some will put a bunch into one signal, different strokes for different folks. Hell, you even see this on the defensive side of the ball. Gary Patterson and TCU, they used to have guys that would signal for the front, the linebackers, and then the back end. So they were all separated. Typically on defense, you got one guy's signal, and that's normally how it goes. But, Blaine, when you look at the tablets on the sideline, I think that's fantastic. Anything that's going to make the game cleaner. And again, having to draw something up, believe me, if somebody's tried to draw something up on like a whiteboard quickly, that takes a lot of time. Go watch those poor offensive line coaches that have to have that board set up, and it looks like they're writing hieroglyphics, like they're telling you how to find the what's it called, the Holy Grail or whatever it is, somewhere buried underneath a Sumerian dig. But when you look at the iPad and what that allows you to do, I mean, it's right there, and it's, again, the best visual tool that you could possibly have for offense, for defense, for offensive linemen, for tight ends, for linebackers. But as far as the 2-minute warning and the tablet stuff, what are your thoughts on both of those?
First of all, I think the 2-minute warning was just made for commercials. That's the only
They
reason.
said they're not going to have a
That's
commercial
the only reason
break.
The 2-minute warning's a thing.
They said they're not going to have a commercial break.
Why would you magically just stop at 2 minutes instead of make it more exciting, get a commercial?
Well, they said.
I understand that.
Well, they say that one of the reasons is it helps clean up everything in the back end, like with having to stop the clock after a first down, that it eliminates that because you have your 2-minute warning that stops the clock one way there. It helps synchronize the clock as well. So I don't know. I'm not going to believe there's not a commercial until I see it.
Yeah, I agree with that. When it comes to the tablets, I think it's awesome. I can't wait for the first quarterback to get up there and throw it after he's pissed. The Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, that's going to come along. And I love the mics and the helmets. And to me, I kind of think of it like this. Is this going to change any offensive schemes? Right, when it comes to coaches, because you look in the NFL, there's no hurry up, there's no tempo. I wonder if a mic and a helmet's going to change a coach's idea we're going to huddle. Look, I'm a football guy. I love the huddle. All right, I love the huddle. A lot of things can get done in a huddle, so that's what I'm interested in. I don't think it's going to change much. Signals are still going to happen, but I'm just tempted if any coaches decide to slow it down a little bit and get in the huddle and talk about it.
Well, I'm interested to see how many teams start to huddle. If that's really what that wave takes over. And I want to say this. Any team that accused Michigan of stealing signs, your ass better huddle. Like, you better huddle now. Because which sign stealing, remember, is legal. You can't do it with electronics. Then they're looking at Michigan going and watching other games before, which that's neither here nor there. One change that they're talking about that they may also implement, which this one I find fascinating, and it has to be submitted by June 15th, is having the LED wristbands for the quarterback, where you just send the play in, like technologically in another way, and they can see it on that LED.
Now we're doing too much.
Well,
look, sooner or later it's going to get to Elon Musk Neuralink. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I thought you said there's going to be robots. It's just
we're going to get to that point, but the evolution, the next step is Elon Musk Neuralink. You're going to be picking plays in your head. Boom, picked. You can see everything. Everybody already knows it. There's going to get to a point where no one has to say a word to each other on a football.
Everybody just looks at each other.
No one's going to have to say a word.
It's basically like the school of the deaf, but like nobody's deaf.
And it's amazing we're just now getting to this for college football.
Yeah, it is crazy. And this is only for the FBS level.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
well, they were worried that, and again, you don't have to do this. It's voluntary. It's 100% voluntary, right? So they were worried that, just the rich were going to be able to use it. They were like, listen, we'll give you the capability in some of these bowl games. Now they've kind of been talked into it. But this change compared to some of the other ones, it isn't even close. But we want to know what you think. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Remember, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it will get read if it's on topic. If not, we'll read it at the end. Or if you're Charles Dossett, we'll read it at the end. The phone lines open at 7:15 a.m. Central, 8:15 a.m. Eastern. We have no guests today, so we can get to the phone lines. Remember, if they're busy when you call in, we'll take a call. It should open up a line. If not, this is why we're hot. It's basically that song right now. But speaking about hot, all right, maybe you just started a podcast. Maybe you just started a business, David. But starting anything from the ground up, it can be tough, especially when it comes to running an online storefront. But that's why friends over at Shopify. You want to talk about helmet communication, right? You want to talk about LED wristbands, making everything easier? Hit that noise, David. You heard that? Guess what? We rich, y'all. What is Shopify? Well, Blaine, it's a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage to the whoa, we just hit 1 trillion orders. Shopify, it's there to help you grow. Believe me, we get asked all the time, hey, I want to sell my merch. I want to do this. I want to do that. What's the easiest way to do it? Don't do it by yourself. Streamline it with our friends at Shopify. We use it every day to sell our merch, and we love how easy it is to add more items, ship products, and track conversions. So no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to know and take control of your business and take it to the next level. So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/crane. That's CRAIN, and it's all lowercase. That's shopify.com/crane. Go there now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/crane. Shopify, get it now. Make it easy, yeah. All right, let's get
All right, Chad, hit that like, hit subscribe button. Let's get it going today. It's a Monday. Get those feet chopping. We're going to start off with Tate Pritchard.
Wake your ass up.
This is a 2-minute break. It's specifically 100% for them to have more commercials. There's no reason to accept it. To them, it's making money. It's always about making money.
Here's what I think is going to happen with the 2-minute warning. I don't think they're just going to say, hey, we're truly going to commercial break. I think you're going to see what you see during golf, where it's showing the kind of them on the sideline meandering around during the 2-minute warning on one side, and then there's an ad, so it's split screen. I saw this in the NHL playoffs. I saw this in the NBA playoffs. I bet they meet somewhere in the middle, and the middle is the middle of that screen, and they split it into two sides. Just remember us.
No, it'll just start with them not going to a commercial so they can honor their word. And
for like one game?
Or one season even, like, well, now, that's in the past. Everybody's forgotten about it.
Texas A&M, Notre Dame, one game, 2-minute warning, no commercials, all the others. It's a potato chip bag theory.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right, let's go to the boxiest of llamas. He says, will the new helmet communications and the change in clock rules last year lead to more huddled offense as set up fast tempo? I know y'all hit it in the monologue, but I need to know more.
I don't know. We've never tried this before. I don't know what the answer response is going to be. I tend to think that people don't want to go slower. If you're a guy that wants to go fast, look, if you want to get on the interstate and drive 100 miles per hour, you're going to do it. Like, regardless if they change the speed limit from 80 to 75 or 75 to 80. I do think I am interested to see the percentage of teams that decide to huddle. It's just, again, it's not the sexiest version of offense to sell. It's like Tony Bennett in Virginia in basketball right now. Hey, it can be effective, but who really wants to do it?
One thing you won't see are wholesale changes right off the bat from coaching systems based off the way they do things right now, because the comm system for somebody at some point in the year is going to go down. And you don't want to have panic, you still want to be able to signal your plays or run your offense efficiently if the comm system goes down. And another thing here, we're already past spring ball. If I'm one of these coaches, I'm like, is it that difficult to make the rule changes before we go through spring so we can practice some of this? Like, spring practice would have been a great opportunity to put the comms in the helmet.
I'm guessing some of them probably knew this was coming down the pipe. I do know during the bowl games last year, They were messing around with it. Some teams used it, some teams didn't. Another kind of intriguing thing is to see maybe some teams won't use it. I'm talking about just like maybe the helmet communication. Maybe they won't use it. Now, they're going to use the tablet on the sideline. Why the hell would you not use that? You'd be stupid not to. But I wonder if some guys are like, no, we're good. I've been doing it this way. Like Lincoln Riley's over there signaling like this with one hand anyway. Like he's basically a human radio to the quarterback. So I wonder what percentage not only are going to huddle because of this, but what percentage are just like, no, I'm good. We're just going to do it the way I've been doing it since I've been brought up.
All right, let's go to Tony J. What's up, Tony? He says, is it just me, or are they trying to make college just like the NFL?
Well, from a gameplay standpoint, this is like the NFL, but I don't think that's nearly as detrimental as, what we're seeing in the other aspects of college football. I mean, hell, we brought up a Super League graphic the other day that looked like the NFL divisions, and that was kind of the way it was going to work out. So, I mean, the answer is kind of yes. I mean, if you look at the transfer portal now, it's turning into unrestricted free agency, right? I mean, you look at kind of where we're going, I just mentioned with the Super League, possible divisions, the expanded playoff. I mean, it seems like every couple weeks we wake up, college football looks more like the NFL. I think that's a legit comment.
I think that's a legit comment, too. Let's go to Sergeant Mike. What's up, Sergeant? Says, can we see a day when one team's comms gets hacked? Take me back to the Astros.
I was just thinking that. That'd be a bad situation. I mean, that's taking it to a whole new level.
Where's Harbaugh at? Where's Harbaugh? Like, all of a sudden, why? It just reminds me, what's that movie, The Big Short, where Ryan Gosling's character goes into Steve Carell and them, and he's like, hold on, let me ask my quant. Yeah. And they're like, who is that?
He doesn't even speak English.
And it's like this Asian guy, it's like, this is Pang. All right, he won a national math competition in China. He doesn't even know English. That's how good my math is. I feel like somebody's going to have some Chinese hacker go in and be like, hey, halfway through the fourth quarter on this last drive, I need you to hack into the Wi-Fi, into the communication system, or some like German 13-year-old.
But that kid did speak English.
He did speak English. His name was like John.
Yeah.
And he finished second in that math competition.
Yeah, I mean, to compare something like that, hacking in and like literally hearing the play, like at that point you're breaking the law. Like there would be a law against that. To compare that to what Connor Stallions did, going and doing the due diligence of looking and seeing what every single team is signaling in, writing down and coming up with a probability. Hey, when they put their right hand in the air, 70% of the time they're running this play. Mm-hmm. Use that at your own discretion, DC or OC. That's not even comparable.
Well, it seems like to me like Connor Stallions, because I don't think what he did was illegal. I just think like the NCAA and the Rules Committee were like, nobody's going to take enough time to do. Somewhere in a meeting, they're like, but what if they send like an analyst person to the other team's games and they literally log all the signals? They're like, Richard.
He cared that much.
Nobody's going to take the time to do that. That'd be like the prison warden who's like, how long would it take him? How long would it take El Chapo for them to dig him out of here?
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, 12 miles.
No one will do that.
Nobody's digging 12 miles and putting some cart underneath a rail to get him out of there. Man. They don't until they do. All right, one more and then we're going to move on.
All right, let's go to Larry. What's up, Larry? He says, will a guy from each side of the ball have a mic in their helmet, or is it just the quarterback?
Guy on each side of the ball. So, you look at special teams, have a guy out there with the mic too. It just, on offense, you get one guy. On defense, you get one guy. It's not like, all right, y'all both want the quarterback to have one, so nobody on defense gets one. Only the quarterback can have one. You get one on each side of the ball at all times.
Yep.
So, all right, let's get to best and worst here.
All right, who's going to start us with the best this weekend?
I'll start us with the best. And listen, I'm the first one to tell you spring games are not the same as a real game. That doesn't mean you can't get anything from it. That doesn't mean it's stupid, but it's not the same as a real game. But at the end of the day, it is football. And Arch Manning, all right, we saw this happen a little bit last year at Texas. Malik Murphy balled out in the spring game. A lot of people were wondering, hey, is this guy going to be a part of the offense? Now, we know he ended up transferring. I know Quinn got beat up. And he had to come in and barely escaped last year to keep them in the hunt for the playoff. But Arch Manning, first play, all right, he ended up, before we show this highlight, he ended up going 19 of 26 unofficially for 355 yards, 3 touchdowns and interception, including a 75-yard touchdown on his first play. We have a clip here Arch coming in. Let's go ahead and show this one. This is the 75-yarder for a touchdown. You're going to get a motion here out of what we called a deuce set. We actually called it dice to that side because 2's on the ball, 1's off. This is what happens. This is why you run motion when you bust coverage. Oh, no. Good job stepping into it, putting it where it has to be.
Heisman. Heisman winner. He's already better. He's already better than his dad's brothers.
So, obviously, there's going to be natural overreaction, right? There's going to be a little bit of an underreaction, too. The answer's always somewhere in the middle, right? So, number one, this is why you motion, right, to try and confuse defenses. That was a very easy and simple motion. I can't believe they screwed that up. It wasn't like you had 3 people coming out of a cluster set. But Arch still has to make a good throw. He does. The guy's wide open. You can make a great throw to wide open receivers. I don't think people understand that enough. You still got to put it where it needs to be. But let's go ahead and run this. We got a couple more clips here at Arch. Let's go ahead and show the people little Manning here. Again, speed off the ball. Put it where it's got to be, though.
Off the ball.
Isaiah Bond, Alabama transfer.
He's going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, it's...
Arch Manning is fired up right now.
On one hand, you're like, man, I love watching Arch Manning make plays. I love watching these wide receivers be able to come over here and translate, and it makes sense, which isn't shocking in Sark's system. But if you're Texas, how much are you worried about the defense a little bit? Because that last one wasn't a bust, but I watched a decent amount of this game. Texas physically, and I will say, first play of the game with Quinn Ewers, I believe, was a pick 6 by a defensive lineman, so it wasn't just all offensive highlights. I am wondering, from a complete team and from a depth standpoint defensively, how do we feel about Texas? But if the Arch Manning hype train is only going to increase from here.
For real, and the question is, will Arch Manning play meaningful snaps this upcoming season? We've seen Quinn Ewers back-to-back seasons now in the past 2 years get injured. Malik Murphy now has transferred out to Duke. Is Arch Manning going to play snaps that actually can help Texas make the college football playoff?
I say yes for 2 reasons, because I think there's 2 decent scenarios. One, like you said, Quinn Ewers has showed a pattern of getting hurt. Like what we always say on the show, if you're going to show me who you are, I'm going to believe you. So on that hand, you would think Arch just by default at some point is going to get in there, and you're in the SEC. That's not exactly the best medicine to not go get injured at the quarterback position. The second thing is, now you can play 8 games not after redshirt, even though he did redshirt last year. So when you're looking at garbage time, I think Texas is going to score enough points to be up on people enough where Arch gets in there and gets some meaningful scratch. But obviously, is it going to come down to a point where the game's on the line, there's game pressure, and Arch Manning has to go in there if Quinn Ewers is hurt?
Y'all don't imagine the day we see Quinn getting hurt, Arch coming in and just taking that spot, huh?
And never relinquishing?
Never letting it
Never
go.
relinquishing?
I don't know.
Man, what a great problem.
I don't know.
I wonder what that problem's like. I'm just over here hoping to God Peyton Thorne can throw a slant.
I don't feel like getting
Hey, they said Miller Moss was balling at USC.
Hey, they say he's going to win the job. They say he's the guy. Does he got a little Stetson in him?
Did he throw 5 to? Yeah.
He's got a little older
He threw 5
guy.
touchdowns in the first half of the bowl game.
Dude,
he
went
better
nuts
every
in the
game.
bowl
Went
game.
crazy.
Yeah, he better do that every game.
He went absolutely bananas in the bowl.
My best over the weekend, give me the LSU gymnastic girls team. Livy Dunn.
As opposed to LSU gymnastics men's team?
What they do?
That is a thing. All right.
I don't think it is.
They don't have SEC have men's team.
No, they don't. No,
They
they
don't?
don't.
Well, we need some proper showing for men's
You can
gymnastics.
start with Texas A&M and the Yell Leaders. That's the closest thing we got.
That is true, but great for them. Big win. Leah Finnegan coming in at the end to finish it off. Celebrate winning in women's sports. Livy Dunn, great job, y'all. Big one over the weekend.
When do we just have like Will Ferrell from Old School coming in there and winning one of the
Dude, in the Olympics, I love the do gymnastics stuff. That stuff's crazy.
Oh, the guys gym?
Yeah,
No,
that
that's
stuff's
I'm
crazy.
not saying
That's
there's
wild
no
to
way
me.
in hell. Me trying to do the rings, I've got a better chance of being in Lord of the Rings than being able to do one of those.
Is it old school when Vince Vaughn
with the
rings
cigarette in
with
his
the
mouth?
cigarette in his mouth?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
No, it's like Cirque du Soleil. I watched Knocked Up this weekend after all the games, and I forgot the scene where they take the shrooms and they go to Vegas, Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd, and they're in Cirque du Soleil, and the 2 guys Remember the guys that are like chiseled? He's like, they're at work right now and they're holding each other up. It's just a I cannot imagine doing that.
All right, my best of the weekend. Bring up clip number 3, please. Let's look at this tattoo that Jim Harbaugh got. 15-0, national champs. Run this, please.
I mean, we can't
there
get
he
better
is.
tat than that.
Perfect.
Yeah, we could have come up with
that tattoo kind of sucks.
Yeah, look, it's the substance of it, you know?
It's the meaning
It's
behind
the meaning behind it.
You gotta go colored.
Was Terrell Pryor's guy not available?
I don't think he was. The call was made.
That's the most Jim Harbaugh tattoo as well.
It's hard not to like this guy.
No, it's really hard not to like.
It's hard not to like. I don't want to like him.
Well, too late. He's out of college football.
He's like
Congrats, y'all. Ran him off.
He's like the one teacher in high school that like actually everybody likes and like doesn't mind being in their class because they're just so different than everybody. It's like, man, Mr. Smitherman in environmental science. It's like he set some on fire yesterday.
Yeah, he's the one teacher in that one class who teaches nothing about his subject.
Nothing about his subject.
Teaches you don't know what you're walking
And he doesn't want you to smoke marijuana, but he also won't tell the principal.
No, but he
as
also
long as you don't smoke
marijuana.
his sad, then it's okay.
Dude, we had a teacher like that in high school, and I think he may watch the shows. Coach Cummings, all right, he knows what I'm talking about. I'll never forget that I'm like a sophomore in high school. He was a young cat that transferred in to be like the social studies teacher. He's from Indiana. All right, first day we're in there. And I was in there with like some of my buddies were just menaces to society in class. He's from Indiana. He comes in, the first thing he does, he's like, what's up, everybody? I'm Coach Cummings. Tell you a little bit about me. I'm from Indiana. I'm a massive Indiana basketball fan. My father was a manager for Bob Knight. And he's like, I want to read y'all this letter I wrote to Bob Knight when I was in middle school. And I'm like, oh no, like don't do this. He reads this letter and starts crying.
Oh, wow.
Halfway through the letter, like his love for Indiana basketball. And like on some level, I'm feeling him. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's how I feel about my team and football. But about halfway through when he starts crying, bro, it's like that one dude who's got the cleft lip on the commercial. It's like, I was bullied mercilessly. Like he was bullied mercilessly. I've never seen a grown man get bullied like that. But eventually, everybody ended up liking him because he let us watch the NCAA tournament during class. And said he never taught us anything about social studies. But it was always fun. He was just trying to make it through that third period class. Yeah. That was when he was
good for him, man. Good for Mr. Cummings. Talking about Michigan football, I was impressed with the quarterback play this weekend at the spring game.
What do you think?
Donovan Edwards looked good.
So quarterback situation at Michigan.
Davis Warren looks really good in the pocket, man. He gets through his progressions. He's accurate with the football. Alex Orji looks like Joe Milton.
He was getting it from everywhere.
I mean, Alex Orji, literally when you look at him, I mean, the arm strength, the way he can run, move out of the pocket, it looks like Joe Milton. Now, will he have the type of career Joe Milton did and be that inconsistent with deep balls down the field? I don't know. I think this is the type of quarterback battle that'll go all the way up to the first week.
Well, that's how it's been.
The last week
that's how camp. Seems like that's how it's been outside of last year. You know, with Cade McNamara, we had that 2 years ago where Michigan, it literally bled into the season. All right, let's get to worst. My worst, I'm going to get this out of the way. If you're somewhat around my age, our age bracket,
Alzheimer's.
You probably watch, what?
No, not Alzheimer's. Damn it.
Not Alzheimer's.
You're up there.
Howie Schwab died. And you say, oh, it's not the commercial, like the Schwab commercial. No, this man used to have a show on ESPN. It was one of the best shows out there that nobody talks about anymore. It was Stump the Schwab. What was it? It was a trivia sports show that Howie Schwab was a producer at ESPN, and then was on that show. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was basically like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but you're going against somebody. He died at 63. The causes were unknown, but there was an outpouring of support. Absolutely loved the show, and RIP to Howie Schwab, man. Sad.
And to Roman Gabriel. Roman Gabriel died this weekend,
wow.
man. Former MVP, the NFL. Great quarterback.
Oh.
Yeah, my worst, as it can't get worse as an Auburn fan. Auburn baseball sucks.
Oh, they're so bad.
Bad. It keeps getting worse.
Hey, but don't worry. Hey, everybody loves everybody.
We lose to Yale, and we're 2-16 in the SEC in baseball. We're the lowest of the low right now. The lowest of the. We're just a little kid everyone picks on at the playground. Just goes and pushes over and points and laughs.
We're just the fat kid whose ass crack is showing on the playground.
What about Aiden Holloway?
Take him.
Take him. I hope he shoots 30.
Yeah.
Please.
Nate, let him shoot. Let him
So
shoot.
this kid transferred from Auburn to Alabama.
Yeah, okay, Benedict Arnold. Like, listen, transfer and that's fine. You did this, okay. You better play good.
Like
That's the thing. You better play good.
Execute Order 66 type stuff.
What if this is just, what if he cares that much that he's going to infiltrate and just...
Did you see what Rylan Griffin, who transferred from Bama, said? This is an exact quote. He said, I feel like Alabama's going to win a national championship and they're probably better off without me.
Wow.
Listen, I understand not wanting to cause drama with your old school, but if you believe that, I don't want you, cuz. I don't want you on my team. I've never heard a player say that. But speaking of, Janai Broome coming back for Auburn, massive. Looking like they're making a run at I believe it was the Morehead State guard that sat out last year that led the conference in scoring to come in with JP Pegues from Furman. But I hope Aiden Holloway shoots at 1,000.
I can't wait to watch us lose in the first round to Penn.
No Ivy League. Please not again. But just Chad Baker-Mazara, please don't tell me how good the depth is. Then we lose one player, and that's why we lost to Yale. I don't want to hear another thing about depth if it doesn't matter against the purple-haired protesters.
I don't think that's a good. Like, I don't think playing 13 players is a good thing.
I don't think it is either.
Like, how do you get in a rhythm?
Especially when you have media timeouts. You want to talk about timeouts? Go watch an NCAA tournament basketball game. There's 300 of them. By the way, Auburn guard Trey Donaldson transferred to Michigan, and also Danny Wolf, the big 7-foot Israeli from Yale, transferred to Michigan.
And Scottie Pippen's son committed to Michigan.
Dusty
May, man.
First off, Dusty May is such a
Scottie Pippen have?
Enough.
Not enough.
Good God.
Can we get one of them?
His other son, the Vandy's in the
Who was the one
one
that was playing at Vandy? What was his name?
God, it wasn't Walter.
Pippen.
His last name was Pippen.
It was Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah,
hopefully this kid is like Scottie Pippen Jr.
Of course, yeah. He was cold.
Yeah,
he was cold at Vanderbilt. He was cold. All right, what's your worst, Dave?
My worst of the weekend, the Biden administration continues to erode Title IX. And look, Title IX, there are ways that we could improve Title IX. They're changing it in ways that are just awful.
Wait till you hear about Title X.
Yeah, wait till you hear about it. In a nutshell, the new rewrite means men can take academic and athletic scholarships from women. Men will have full access to bathrooms, locker rooms. Men can be housed in dorms with women, and students and faculty must compel their speech by requiring the use of preferred pronouns. If the guidelines above are ignored, you can be charged with harassment.
Okay, so where is this from being passed?
I believe the House passed this,
which
is even the scarier part of it.
So that means
it would go to the Senate and then to Biden's desk.
You think it's going to make it to the Senate?
Oh, yeah.
You think it will?
Oh, yeah. Well, it made their House.
There's never been a better time to be a pervert. A male pervert. This is y'all's golden era. This y'all's golden era. Do you remember? On
our watch, man.
No, on our watch. Like, what? Again, I'm sitting here talking about it. Like, Riley's talking about it.
Yeah.
Sage is talking about it. But nobody's doing anything about it.
Hey, these 5 girls in West Virginia are doing something.
Yeah, let's run this clip.
Play clip number 5 here.
This is shot put.
Shot put. These five girls in West Virginia decided to boycott or girl caught. You know, the girl cop movement has taken off strong since last week. They said, we're not going to compete.
Good for them. This is one of the only ways. How embarrassing. But going back to my point, if you're a pervert, right, there has never been a better time for you. You can go in women's bathrooms, right? You can now go in their sports, right? House with them. I'm sure perverts used to just sit around behind in their perverted rooms with their perverted cigars and be like, I'll tell you what, one day, maybe we could go into women's bathrooms and, man, we can even dress like them so they'll never know it's us. We already see this stuff going on around the country. It just makes me think. I used to wonder growing up, like, you look at stuff that happened during World War II, and when you see, like, these mass killings and these people that get talked into all this crazy stuff, you're like, how could somebody possibly, or how could this group of people, or this amount of people, possibly be coerced into this type of action? And then you see something like this. If you're this stupid to think this is okay, if you can be talked into this, then you can be talked into anything.
Anything.
You can be, that's the scariest part about it for me is, you can be talked into anything, right? It's just, this is amazingly bad. No way it gets past the Senate. Please no. Please no. I mean, guys.
That's why they have the majority, isn't it?
I'm telling you. It's sad. It's absolutely sad.
I think, I don't know, Republicans have the majority in the Senate, don't they?
Barely, right?
I think so. I mean, last time I checked it was. I mean, this just tells you where we are as a society. I mean,
Well,
we're cooked.
We talk about it all the time.
When it comes to like genders, like once that starts getting mixed and blurred, we're cooked as an aside.
No, remember it's 50-50 in the Senate with Kamala Harris gets the tie-breaking vote.
Oh, then it's through.
There's no way. Like it's over. It's a wrap.
And the fact that more women in powerful sports positions haven't came out against this is everything.
Well, we talk about it. We're going to keep talking about it, but I mean, goodness gracious, man.
Wild stuff, man.
I mean, it doesn't get worse than this. Doesn't get worse than this. But, one thing that's almost as bad is if you're in trouble with the IRS. All right, and if you don't have a professional, when you're facing the IRS and you're not a professional yourself, you're basically walking into a gunfight with a butter knife. All right, tax deadline passed last week. All right, if you owe back taxes or still on unfiled returns, it can weigh on your mind. All right, it can take up some of that storage space, especially when the IRS has been more determined than ever. Seems like they're hiring people left and right. I'm afraid to even bring up the letters, to be honest with you. Their chief data and analytics officer revealed the IRS is focused on an enforcement project with an average return on investment of about $6 for every $1 they spend. How the hell else do you think we're going to send all this money to Ukraine? And they're targeting individuals and businesses that currently owe back taxes or haven't yet filed their returns. But guess what? You need a hero. And I got one. It's Tax Network USA, the nation's leading tax relief firm. They know the tax code. They'll fight for you. With a record of negotiating over $1 billion in tax relief for their clients, their team is knowledgeable in handling any type of tax issue. So don't face the IRS without a professional. It's not a smart move, and you're a smart person. So figure it out and contact Tax Network USA for the best strategic advice to help you reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. Call today. Here's the number, 1-800-245-6000, or visit their website at tnusa.com/booster. They'll give you a free private consultation on how you can settle your tax debt today. That's tnusa.com/booster. Stop taxing yourself and the IRS. Tax Network USA. All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, this is going to be a little switch up. We're getting Charles Dossett with a $2 donation for the end of the show. Charles, it's an executive order. Congress has not acted yet.
Good.
Okay, good. Well, I hope it exactly gets burned at the stake.
All right, let's go to RTR Brock. He says, I can't wait for Aiden. Bama fans will welcome him with open arms. Nate Oates knows how to fix players.
Nate Oates does know how to fix players. I'm just telling you, from what I saw last year, and look, you can make any type of jump you want. What I would be worried about if I was Alabama fans, I think Aiden will be able to figure it out from a shooting standpoint. And I think that system does fit him well. It's defensively. He's very small. Mark Sears, if he comes back, is very small, even though Mark's more of a bulldog defender than Aiden is. I would just worry defensively about the size of my guards and their ability to guard. But look, I mean, I'm not going to doubt Nate Oates. I just watched Dalen Holloway miss more shots than a fat kid asking out Sydney Sweeney.
Let's go to Travis Tenney. What's up, Travis? He says, look, that's a horrible tat for the Natty. Leave it up to Jim to always disappoint.
Well, why would you not just have some huge Michigan M, you know what I'm saying, with, like, says Harballin underneath it? Has anybody ever used that phrase before?
I don't.
Harballins, that's copyrighted and patented by Cranny Company.
Their rings were awesome, though. They got four rings this weekend.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Horns Up Dave. What's up, Dave? He says, I'm loving the team so far, but I'm worried about our secondary.
Yeah.
What do you think walking into this year for Texas?
Well, that was one of the, last year one of the issues was Texas was a little bit younger in the secondary, right? They were kind of coming along. I know you had Jaron Thompson transferred to Auburn. I do think they're going to be better this year. I just worry because in the spring game, you're running a lot of regurgitated stuff, a lot of peanut butter and jelly. Those were one play was just physical. Oh boy was beat at birth by Isaiah Bond. That's going to happen sometimes when you're playing man, you're pressed up like that against a talented receiver like Isaiah Bond, right? Not saying it's acceptable, not saying it's excusable, but it's somewhat understandable going against Isaiah Bond. The bust off the motion You'd much rather have that bust in spring. Believe me, they're going to play that clip 55,000 times. And it was a miscommunication, right? You had motion by number 1. He becomes number 2. You have the safety and the corner. They're communicating. There was a miscommunication. Looked like both of them were running zone. They just didn't understand, who had outside, who had inside coming off the motion, which that's easily fixable. I'm not going to I never get too high and I never get too low off a spring game. That's just how it works. But after last year and seeing some of the scars from Texas a little bit, I understand why there's worry in the secondary.
And that was with one of the best defensive tackle tandems in the country.
Yeah, look
Byron Murphy and T'Vondre Sweat.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are going to the NFL.
Yeah,
so
even
you're
though
going to have to replace that
sweating
along with whatever you
right
have
now
in the secondary.
Yeah, but all right, let's get to the playoffs before we get to call-ins. Remember, the phone line's open 7:15 a.m. Central. It's 8:15 a.m. Eastern. It's 1-855-236-3228. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Keep sharing the show if you're new in here. Welcome to it. Excited to have you.
Let's pin the number up on the chat for me.
Yeah, let's make sure we do that.
All right, let's go to the NBA. NBA playoffs underway. Nuggets beat the Lakers. We had Knicks over the 76ers. T-Wolves over the Suns. Cavs beat the Magic. That was all on Saturday. And then Sunday we had the Celtics in their first showing. They did beat the Heat, who got that 8 seed. And Clippers beat the Mavs. Bucks beat the Pacers. And Thunders beat the Pelicans, who also made it in. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, well, kudos to the Clippers to being able to win the way they won without Kawhi. I know the Pacers shot the ball terribly. I picked losing my mind. The Bucks beat the Pacers without Giannis, right?
Yeah.
The Clippers won without Kawhi Leonard. Looked really good. Now, the Mavericks, I know that first half offensively was putrid. Is about as bad as you're going to get. I think they scored like 8 points in the second quarter. It was awful. I watched the whole game. When it comes to the Pacers losing to the Bucks, offensively, I just don't trust the Pacers. There's a reason that I picked the Bucks. By the way, we're up 54 units this year as a group, which is absolutely insane right now when you have, 5 people betting? Us 3, and we're up 54 units. It's nuts. Everybody's in the positive right now. Don't want to jinx it. As far as the Thunder, it's a nice win to hold on against the Pels. Don't trust the Pels. I'll continue to say it. But the Heat not having Jimmy Butler, it's going to be damn near impossible without Jimmy for them to beat the Celtics. I will say this, Jaquez from UCLA, nice.
Yeah, he's nice. Good piece, man. Good piece.
The rookie, his game's translated a little bit better than what I thought. He's not the best three-point shooter, was really good in the mid-range. I just tell you, man, the more I look at this Celtics team, and again, I know Jimmy Butler wasn't there for the Heat, and I know they've blown it, but golly with Porzingis. If Porzingis is shooting like that, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. You've got Horford, you've got Tatum, you've got Jaylen Brown, you've got Porzingis. Pritchard is shooting his tits off right now, too. It's just a problem.
Yeah. Right now, phenomenal across the board. But one guy and one team I just looked at and really enjoyed watching. Damn, man, I just love watching Anthony Edwards play basketball. Like,
he
reminds me of Jordan.
He's cold.
Like the way I'm not saying he's Michael Jordan, but the way he moves on a basketball court somewhat looks like Michael Jordan. And when it's crunch time in front of Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards rises to the occasion. A young face, a young star. Do I think they're good enough to win it? No, I do not. But that last drop 33, that last couple minutes was just insane. Lakers found themselves up in this game, right? You're on the road, defending national championship, and the Nuggets didn't look great, but found a way to win it. They're going to be a tough team to beat in this series, but I do think this Lakers-Nuggets series might go 7.
Well, I thought LeBron kind of pouted, and I actually agree with Skip Bayless on this. I think LeBron pouted the last 6 minutes of that game. I mean, he just stood there and just passed it to D'Angelo Russell, who couldn't make a shot. And it was almost like he was upset that he wasn't getting the ball in the crunch time before that, but you were in it at the end. I will say this, Kevin Durant, I am always amazed when I watch Kevin Durant play basketball. His ability to just elevate and make shots. I know he's 7 foot tall, but it was basically Kevin Durant versus the Timberwolves. That's what it was, if we're going to be honest. Just like it was Siakam for the Pacers.
Yeah.
Yesterday, literally against the Bucks. So the teams that can win, surprise, surprise, are the teams that can hurt you from multiple spots, that have multiple guys. That's why, I look at the Clippers, man. James Harden, He does this in the playoffs. He'll ball like he did in that game, then he'll disappear. Then he'll ball and he'll disappear. Well, the question for the Clippers becomes, how long can you do this without Kawhi? Because Paul George looked really good yesterday. We'll see. Zubac looks like a monster. He was bullying everybody, including Gafford yesterday. So,
I mean, you look at the guys that have. You have Paul George, James Harden. You have Russell Westbrook coming off the bench.
Which Russell played his role very effectively.
Yeah, once Russell figured that out, he's extremely
Norman
good.
Powell.
You have P.J. Tucker, who's not out there yet.
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard. You got the roster to do it. But there's only one basketball. That's the problem.
Well, I was going to say, what do you think about 76ers Knicks?
Well, that's what I was about to ask. Like, are we headed for a Knicks-Celtics, like, Eastern Conference Finals?
You know, part of me hopes so.
However the bracket matches up.
I don't know, but, like, part of me likes Joel Embiid, man. Like, part of me, I find myself
as a person,
like rooting for Joel Embiid. I don't know why. There's not like any specific reason, and I like the Knicks. I love Jalen Brunson, right? I like watching him and Josh Hart. I think those guys play their ass off. I think they really go out there and compete. But just watching Joel Embiid, man, and look, the Sixers, you got to get more help from Tobias Harris. You got to get more help from the other guys. But I don't know, man. Joel Embiid is so incredible to me. Just I saw in a sequence, Joel Embiid on the offensive side make a contested three-pointer, right? On defense the next possession, alter a shot, get the rebound, dribble the ball up the court, and make like a half-court pass, just an insane pocket pass to a guy that's cutting, that was kind of cherry-picking a little bit. Watching somebody that big operate the way he operates is absolutely incredible. But I tell you what, we make fun of the NBA a lot, but just like we talked about how much better the playoffs are during the regular season, guess what? Watched it all this weekend. Playoffs are so much better in the regular season.
Oh, yeah, they are. So, Game 2, Nuggets-Lakers tonight as well. What are you guys expecting from that one? And is this, do the Lakers really need to split while they're in Denver?
Well, you want to split because it gives you the advantage. I mean, you can hold serve even if you don't split. But listen, I'm not betting against Jokic and the Nuggets. I'm just not doing it. Not at home. Not at home. Now, if the Nuggets win this one, they go back to L.A., I may put some coin on the Lakers because they're kind of back against the wall. But it's just when I watch that big Serbian run up and down the court and do those things with the supporting cast that he has, I'm not betting against them.
It's to beat the Nuggets, you need 4 out of your 5 players to play really good.
Yeah.
You have to team basketball beat the Nuggets. You do, because, I mean, just look at Gordon, paint presence, defensive stud. Porter Jr., tree,
healthy,
long, athletic, can get it done on both sides of the floor. Will never pass it. We all know that. Jokic, Serbian hero. Murray, one of the best point guards in the league. And Caldwell Pope, walking bucket.
Yeah. That's a solid team.
They're minus 7.5 tonight.
Walking
that's
bucket.
A solid
And I'd probably take the 7.5.
That's a solid roster.
All right, let's go to the NHL.
Go to the
Bruins. 5-1 over the Maple Leafs the other day.
Kirk!
Canes 3-1 over the Islanders. And then yesterday we had a bunch of good matchups. Panthers Lightning, that was 3-2 Panthers. Rangers beat the Caps 4-1. Jets 7-6 over the Avalanche.
Dude, I had that.
A lot of goals.
In one of the show bets, I had the Jets Avs over 5.5. It was 3-3 at the end of the first period. I just put my windows down and cruise.
I had Winnipeg.
But then it got
better.
But then it got better. And a parlay I've got, shout out betonline.ag, head over there, use promo code Booster. I hit the first, it's a 7-legger to win like 530. All right. I had the Avalanche plus 1.5 yesterday. It was 7-5 with 20 seconds to go. And the Avs got a garbage time goal to cover.
The only hockey bet I missed all weekend was the Preds money.
We got to get, we need to put the graphic up tomorrow of what we are betting.
I don't know if I have missed a hockey bet.
It's insane. I didn't miss a hockey bet all weekend.
I'm taking home teams to cover. I took Canes cover 1.5.
I did too.
They scored 3. They won 3-1. I took the Rangers to cover 1.5 at home. I won 4-1, and I took Winnipeg money line.
I took all those.
I went 6-0 Saturday. I went 5-1 Sunday, and the one I missed, I had the Celtics over at 209. So it was almost a golden weekend. I don't know if we've ever had a golden weekend.
I don't think so.
Before, but I will say this. Preds, not out of it, right? Canucks, 1 game, 1 at home. Never overreact All right,
I'm overreacting
to a playoff, to one game of the playoffs. I have a bad habit of doing
I think
this
y'all
in the
should
NBA.
overreact.
No, I think you should
I'm gonna
overreact. No, I'm
overreact.
thinking about it. But no, man, going back to Saturday, Canes handling business against the Islanders, got up 1-0, were able to finish it. The Bruins just jumped the Leafs 3-0. The Leafs never were able to recover.
Looked
a
the
little
Canucks
timid.
come out and scored 2 goals in 10 seconds?
No, well, the Preds scored first. The Preds jumped out 1-0.
Third period.
You talking about the
Canucks.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the
scored
beginning
3
of
in
the
the
game.
third, didn't they?
Yeah, they scored 2 in the first 15 seconds of the third
period. Yeah, it's the Preds doing Preds things. But you look at the Rangers, they're just better than the Caps.
Mm-hmm.
They are. The Caps, I thought, put up a really good fight. First period, I believe, was scoreless, something like that. The Rangers just came out and scored 3 goals in like a 2.5-minute window. Then obviously we know the Jets and Avs was just a score fest. The Canucks. Preds, we'll see. I'm not going to overreact, but a great weekend, playoff weekend.
So tonight we'll get Game 2 of Maple Leafs Bruins and Hurricanes Islanders, and we'll get Game 1 Stars Golden Knights and Oilers Kings.
What do you think about the Kings plus 1.5? How are we feeling about that? Who knows?
I don't know, Basil. I have
know.
no
Who
idea
knows?
on that one.
We want to know what you guys think. 1-855-236-3228. All right, let's get back to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to the basketball man. What's up, brother? Says, if I'm Joel Embiid, should I be looking to get out of Philadelphia?
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't think I will say this. If he does, I will not look down on him because he's been there for a while and he's tried to make it work through multiple different changes.
With a lot of different superstars.
A lot of different superstars. He's been there to try to make it work, and it hasn't. So either way, I'm not going to hate on Joel Embiid if he decides to stay in Philly. You know, that relationship's been kind of rocky, but he's done everything that he possibly can. And we talk about injuries, right? We talked about that with Zion. The difference, I think, with Joel Embiid is his injuries have been, like, catastrophic. Like, he's had, like, devastating injuries. And I thought when he threw that ball off the backboard and dunked it himself with one hand, I don't know if y'all saw it this weekend, and then his knee buckled when he landed, I thought he tore his ACL. But he was able to come back in after halftime. David, this man at this size literally got the ball at basically on the top of the block, right, and got stuck, threw it off the backboard, caught it with one hand, jammed it. And
Joel Embiid?
Yeah, just insane.
All right, let's go to the Butler. Says, if the Celtics don't win it this year, when do you break up the team?
You don't win
Day after.
You don't win it this year. I saw a stat, Jason Tatum's, again, he's like, what, 20? How old is Jason Tatum? Let's look that, like 25?
Not old.
Like maybe not even that old. He's played 95 playoff games.
That's wild. He's 26.
He's 26 and he's already played 95 playoff games. It seems like we do this dance every year with the Celtics. Like,
Feels
all right,
different.
they didn't win it or they blew it at the last minute.
Feels
so
a little different this year, though.
now get rid of Jalen. I'm telling you, Porzingis, man. It just seems with him healthy and the way he's able to operate, they can always get a shot. That's the thing. But it's not just, all right, Jason Tatum, take over. Or Jaylen Brown, take over. I'm watching Pritchard bang shot. Hauser from Michigan State just hit like 4 in a row. Just the other day like it was nothing. They've got every role is taken care of. Like they've got somebody for everything.
So how would they match up against the Nuggets and Jokic?
As good as you possibly can.
What would they do?
As good as you possibly. I think what it does is it stretches Jokic out a little bit.
He
with
doesn't
what Porzingis can do. No,
They just match up so well.
and they're big.
That's the thing about
Like Jaylen Brown's big.
Michael Porter
Jason
Jr.
Tatum's big.
Immediately on Jason Tatum. Gordon immediately on Jaylen Brown. You can switch those. That's the thing about. Jokic can guard Porzingis.
You know what it's going to come down to? It's going to come down to what it always comes down to. When you have superstars playing against superstars, it's the role players. That's what it's going to come down to, right? Caldwell Pope, what are you going to give him? Pritchard, what are you going to give him? Derek White, what are you going to give him? That's what it typically gets. We have all this hoopla, and look, superstars go off. I'm not saying they don't. But when you have let's just say a Jokic versus an Embiid, sometimes it's got to be Tobias Harris. Like that's typically what it comes down to. Oh, we're going to double this wide receiver? Well, the guy on the other side's got to make plays.
Yep. All right, let's go to Jackson P. What's up, Jackson? Says Dame Lillard with a 35-point half. The guy is a stud. Can't wait to see my Bucks at full health.
I almost had him in my best. He didn't score a point in the second half and didn't need to.
Wait, he put up 35 without scoring a point in the second half?
In the first half, David, it was insane.
How did he score in the...
It was insane.
Did he just not play?
Well, he played. He just didn't go super sane like he did in the first half.
So what's Giannis' status right now?
Looked like he was moving around okay yesterday when he was on the bench. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be. I think all these guys are slowly coming back. Right now, you're just playing with house money. If you're the Clippers, right, you win that game. How long can we go without Kawhi without having to play him? If you're the Bucks, you won game one. Right now, is Dame Lillard going to pop off for 35 in the first half of next game? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be as easy as what it was because they got up. And I will say the Pacers that third quarter kind of snuck back a little bit. I think they got it to 12. All right, but the Bucks found a way to be able to extend it. It just, Dame looked like that looked like prime. Even at the buzzer, he hit, got to feel like a 60-footer at the buzzer. He was just insane yesterday.
All right, let's go to Zach. What's up, Zach? He says, right now the Lakers game is sitting at +7.5. I'm leaning Lakers. What do you guys think?
I'm taking the Nuggets, 7.5. If the Lakers end up covering, I'll eat that one. But I thought a lot went right for the Lakers to stay in that game for a while against the Nuggets until the end. I don't know. LeBron pouting like that. This is one of those games where it seems like LeBron kind of forces the action a little bit. And the Nuggets just play the way they play.
Denver won game one by 11, and that was with Anthony Davis having 32 and 14.
LeBron had 27.
LeBron had 27. They got 11 off the bench. I don't know.
Just gravity. Just gravity, man.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they're in Denver.
All right, let's go to Luca's left hand. What a name.
Did Luka look fat to anybody? To me?
He's chubby.
Luka looked fat to me. Like he just did. I don't know another way to put it. He just looked out of shape to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch him on defense, he just jogs back and, I'm a lollygag over here. He's still incredible. But sorry, go ahead, Luka's left hand.
All right, Luca's left hand. He says, right now we can't score any points, but I'm still worried about our defense.
Yeah.
Can we come through down the stretch? Give me good news.
Look, the way Zubac was bullying y'all down low, I don't know. Like, I like Gafford, right? I liked him when he was at Arkansas. I thought he was a good player. I don't think you're going to have a half like you had in the first half, speaking of the Mavericks. It was awful. Absolutely awful. Now, the Clippers, they just overwhelmed. They teamed you. Paul George was hitting. James Harden hit his first 4 threes. James Harden hit his first 4 threes. It just all made sense for the Clippers. I don't think it can go that bad in the first half for the Mavericks, or it's going to go that good again for the Clippers. But I do echo, and I understand your worry about the Mavericks defensively because the guards weren't very good on defense yesterday, and Zubac was bullying everybody down in the post. He was getting every shot that he possibly wanted. Luka's left hand, I understand your worry. It's I got asked before the playoffs, I forgot who it was, do the Mavericks have enough to go win an NBA title? No, they don't, because balance keeps you on the beam. But I will say, at the end of the regular season, I thought the Mavericks were playing pretty good defensively, but that looked like old, average-ass Mavericks on defense. But part of me kind of wants to stick it to Mark Cuban because that guy sucks.
Luka still had 33 and 13, along with 6 assists. 12 of those 13 rebounds were defensive boards. He did have another steal. The stat line's there for him. Obviously, Kyrie had 31.
It is, but it just, the Mavericks never felt like the game was close. I did think Kyrie hustled on defense, though. I thought Kyrie gave them a chance. And I know I may get some backlash for saying this. I don't know if I've ever seen a better finisher through traffic. I remember Allen Iverson a decent amount. Kyrie Irving is the best I've ever seen in traffic.
Kyrie Irving's the best ball handler ever to walk on a basketball court. I say that with confidence.
A lot of people think that.
Watching this man operate against guys that are bigger than he is.
Which begs the question, if you have that, along with Luka, how are you scoring 8 points in the second quarter?
It's unacceptable.
I don't know.
It's unacceptable.
8 points.
I don't know.
It's absolutely unacceptable. Here's the thing, though. They were getting good looks. Luka scored 33 points. But that second quarter, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of the helicopter into the ocean. That's how bad it was. All right, one more, and then we'll get to calls when you're ready, D.
All right, let's go to TN2 Nashville. What's up, brother? Says Predators dropped game 1 It looks like we're not going to win a game. Can you think we can pull out this series?
Don't overreact. It's like I said, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. Thought the Preds looked competitive yesterday. It's always tough game one going on the road. Let's wait till game two. It didn't look to me like the Predators were overwhelmed or just absolutely overmatched to the point of, oh, they've got no chance to win a game. Let's let this second game go and then start to panic. That's what I think.
All right, guys, we got William on the line in Alabama. Let's see what's up. William, what's going on?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning, William.
Man, it's been a long night, I'll tell you.
Yeah, y'all got a new member for the Booster Club, I heard.
Yeah, another one for the Horde.
Congratulations.
Congrats, William!
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
We got in the car. She was having contractions, and we made it as far as we could, and we ended up having them on the side of the interstate.
No way.
Are you
In the front
serious?
seat of the car.
No way.
Serious.
How does that?
Got there just in time.
So wait. So, okay. So going to the hospital, can't make it to the hospital. You call 911 and basically they send the ambulance out there and help deliver the baby, or was the baby already there when they showed up?
They caught him. They got there just in time to help deliver him.
And everybody's healthy.
Everybody's good. Everybody's healthy.
Wow.
I'm about to go help give him his first bath.
Yeah.
Dude, God, why do I feel like all of a sudden he's 19 years from now, he's starting for the Braves? It just seems like an origin story. Like born on the side of the road. William, you're in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Man,
Yes,
congratulations.
William, what's his name?
Blaine?
William Levi. And we'll
There
be
you
calling
go.
him Levi.
Nice. Willie Jr.
On the
I love
side
it.
of the
Congratulations.
road.
Man,
that's a hell of a
insane,
story.
Dude. That's a heck of a
Your
way
wife's
to
a
start off.
trooper.
You won't ever forget that one,
Your
William.
wife's an
Oh, she's a
absolute
champ,
trooper.
man.
Hell yeah.
All right. Now that we got past the cool stuff, I was just going to ask you to give me some help on the Preds.
Oh.
Well, man, it's like I was just telling TNT. I wouldn't overreact in the first game. I didn't watch that game. It was like, oh my God, the Preds suck. They don't belong here. I think it was game one, right, on the road in the playoffs. And you kind of got that period a little bit at the end where you got overwhelmed and then had to fight back. But I'm not panicking Skywalker right now. I'm not Jodie Foster going into the panic.
Let's go split.
I mean,
let's
this
go
isn't
split.
shut-in.
Come back to Nashville.
I don't know.
I would love a split.
Come back to
William, it
Nashville.
smells like a
1-1.
sweet.
No, I would
Don't
love a
listen
split.
to him, William. He doesn't know anything.
Get your brooms
He's a
out.
Flyers fan. All right.
Get your brooms out.
Flyers are already in the offseason. What was that new player they signed? Summeroff?
Yeah,
Taking the
look,
summer off?
we signed old summer off and then we signed winter going.
William, appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
man.
William.
Congrats.
Oh, boy.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, William. All right, let's go to Jack in Mobile. Jack, what's up?
Hey guys, good morning.
What's up, Jack?
You.
Well, maybe from Mobile, but I'm calling around from Manhattan right now.
From Manhattan, Kansas, or New York?
New York.
The
Nice.
city boy.
Titty boy,
Oh, yeah.
the city boy.
Oh yeah, had a nice little trip planned before I go back to school. But I wanted to say this. I did take in the Yankees game on Saturday, and first off, I'm disappointed that Judge's average is this low into the season. I know it's early, but he shouldn't be hitting. At the end of the day, with 4 strikeouts, it was sub 170, just about. But I did want to say, New York and Atlanta have done a fantastic job building stadiums. Despite the fact there are only being 3 gates at Yankee Stadium, Yankee Stadium and Truist Park are the best parks that I've been to.
Is it? How was the atmosphere around? Was it pretty lit?
Oh yeah, it felt like Jordan Hare Stadium.
Oh wow, really? It's
Jerry
like
Hare,
that.
Don't gas me up right now, Jack.
Look,
Yankee Stadium,
I'm in the
boys.
same boat as you, Blaine. I'm in the same boat as you, Blaine. Yankee fan and Auburn fan. I'm a non-conference homecoming. Jordan Hare Stadium is how it felt at Yankee Stadium.
non-conference home.
Jack, do you want to do karate in the garage?
Yeah, I like where this is going. Hey, Jack, how expensive was the food? Was it crazy?
Let's see. I had a steak sandwich last night at a great restaurant, Jack's Wife's Frida. I don't know anybody's name for either, so no jokes. It was 24.
Wow, I saw. I think it was a Blue Jays game. Somebody was talking about showing the menu at the game. For a hot dog and a Coke, it was $30.94.
I can't.
Go to a Preds
For
game.
a hot dog. For a hot dog.
Been to a Preds game?
For a hot. Not even one of those hot dogs that's got like quesadillas
it's an arm and a
shit all over
leg.
it.
You want a cup with ice? We need your firstborn.
No.
It's terrible.
So
Like,
I
I haven't
watch the
been-
Blue
I haven't been
Jays?
to a New York game because I'm poor, but one day.
That's why the Masters. Is a
One
great
day I'm
sporting
gonna go.
Oh,
event.
yeah.
Hot dog, buck
We'll
50,
go together, Blaine.
like it should be.
Let's go, Jack.
Jack
Let's
be
go.
nimble.
Hey,
Jack
calling
be
you-
quick.
We start calling you
Jack and
Falco.
Blaine at the Yankees game. Where do I sit?
Hey, don't think to read my chat, Blaine. I'm watching you.
Say it again.
Don't forget to read my dono, Blaine. I'm watching.
I never do.
Oh yeah.
Jack, I never
He actually
do.
read Charles Dossett's during.
You
the
put that
show.
evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You put that evil on me. Love you, Jack.
Hey, I'm just saying, watch out.
No, I love it. Look,
Hey, Jack.
P's and T's, Jack.
Yeah, P's and T's.
P's
That's
and
like some
T's.
good P's and T's. Jack, I do want to ask you this though. How has the city been? Like around? Like how's the city?
The city's great. I don't want to. There are people walking around and I don't want to insult anybody. But
There are people around, so I don't want to insult them. Smart man. There's like a
Like
gun
Birmingham.
pointed at
Yeah,
Jack
yeah.
right now.
it feels like Birmingham.
Okay.
Okay, so it's shitty.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't know if people were shooting up fentanyl while taking a dump in Times Square or whatever at the
It's only
same
It's only
time.
on
Yeah.
Thursday.
Which is what we call a Nova Scotian brunch.
Welcome to Sheboygan. Appreciate
Jack,
it, Jack.
thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Jack.
Oh,
boy.
man.
Let's go to Marcus in Iowa. Marcus, are you in
Oh,
Manhattan
God.
too, or what?
Hey, guys, we are going to put this dead horse down and settle this discussion with
Your brother-in-law
the
called in.
right?
Your brother-in-law called in last week.
Oh, this is this.
I feel like this is like one Amish
love
family in Iowa that's like this is
This is
just-
going to turn
I
into a
told
30
him
for 30.
It's great because we can banter on this subject, and yet we can still be together and play disc golf this past
Yeah,
weekend.
y'all can
So
churn
it's
butter. Y'all can churn butter later.
Y'all going to play disc golf this
Build
weekend?
furniture.
Heck yeah. So by the end of this, we're going to come up with a call sign for me instead of Marcus from Iowa because that's just lame. So here are my closing arguments for
Be
why
Bears
I'm not
fan
a
number
fan.
one.
Yeah. Are
Bears
you
fan
wearing your
number
Bears
one.
jersey?
No, I am not. I am not wearing my Bears. It's not even a jersey. It's just a simple T-shirt.
Doesn't matter.
I am this is college football, but I am a Nebraska fan. But I have a signed Tom Brady Michigan jersey.
Signed is
And
different.
I think-
Signed is different.
Okay, well, I think we've all forgot the term sports fanatic and sports collector because I'm a Royals fan and I've had Randy Johnson, Diamondbacks, bobblehead stuff. I've collected hats, jerseys, figurines. If a shirt is cool, I'm going to wear it. I could care less if the Bears have the number one draft pick. That means nothing to me. I just thought that it was a cool shirt. And so I can be a loyal fan to my crappy team, but yet I can still enjoy the love of the sport, the people who have impacted the sport, and
Yeah.
are changing it every day.
You can't. Here, Marcus, here's what I'll say. All right. And I understand where you're coming from. But if we have to like do this like by the book, by the law, I have to draw lines at some point. Here's where I'm at. Signed Tom Brady jersey, awesome. I would love a signed Sean Alexander jersey from like Alabama or something like that. But I'm not going to, you know where that's going to be? That's going to be in my room, in my man cave. I think once I don that shirt or that jersey and I go out into the world, I'm making a statement. All right? I'm riding with them. What if you don't know me? We walk by each other in Walmart. Oh, Jake's wearing a Bears shirt. What does that make Jake? Bears fan. I think that's where we've got to draw a line somewhere. That doesn't mean deep down you feel that way, but I don't think you can get mad at other people saying, hey, I thought old boy was a Bears fan, or hey, maybe it smells a little bandwagonish because old dude's walking around with a Michigan shirt like he's a Nebraska fan. I think that's where we draw the line, but that's if you don't know the person. So I think there's some gray area there.
Marcus was not on trial for being a bad Cowboys fan.
No, he wasn't.
For that, maybe he would be guilty. He was on trial for being a bandwagon fan, and you can't be a bandwagon fan unless you're hopping on to a team that's having success in that moment.
I understand.
Or even if it's your own team. See, you could have been guilty of being a bandwagon fan even if it was the Cowboys. Let's say you abandoned the Cowboys the last 10 years and you never talked about them with your friends. Then all of a sudden they win the Super Bowl this year with Dak Prescott. Now you're a Cowboys fan again. That's still bandwagon to me.
So hold on, are we making a judgment here? Is this a mistrial? Or is it a hung jury?
No, he's acquitted.
He's acquitted?
Look, I've been watching the OJ Made in America.
He's acquitted?
Look, dog.
I'm going to get my Johnny Cochran on here.
Yo, you're a Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a straight up Cowboys
Well, you go
fan.
make sure you pull that knife out of all the backs of Cowboys fans.
Hold on, I was
All
just talking about OJ. Don't be talking about knives.
All right? And the
I
glove
don't like
did
where this
fit.
is going.
The glove's fitting on you. All right? You can't be rocking any other jerseys outside for people to see. You can't. You can't? There has to be laws.
All right, judgment.
Would you
Guilty!
wear? Hold on, I have a question, Marcus. Would you wear division opponent gear? I mean, if you had a Jalen Hurts jersey, or Brandon Graham, are you wearing Eagles stuff? Are you wearing Giants gear?
See, I've never worn division opponents gear. I've worn a Florida State sweatshirt because I thought the sweatshirt was cool. Yes, they did.
You're a
great
Nebraska
gear,
fan. I don't hate that.
Yeah, I'm a Nebraska fan. Florida State was a rival back in the day.
Yeah.
But,
Not my day.
Whatever. Hey,
division gear,
it's 2024, man. Just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. There's guys and women's
Yeah, dudes
sports.
can be chicks now, Marcus.
Yeah.
Guys and women's sports. I mean, hell, they're letting anything go.
P's and T's.
They're letting anything
All right, so let's adjudicate this. Blaine.
You're guilty to the gulags with you.
To the gulags. Golly, this is why you can't give this man any power. You know what? I'm going to call mistrial. I'm going to say it's
What
a
does that
mistrial.
mean?
That means I may need to look back at it again.
I say not guilty, Marcus.
maybe we need to go and
I
judge
say not
Matt
guilty.
Walsh.
Yeah, maybe we should go on judge with Matt
Maybe
Walsh.
we
Look, you
should.
keep being a great sports fan, all right? You
Yeah.
have that Randy
Yeah.
Johnson jersey. You get that signed Florida
You go
State
look all those
shirt.
Cowboys fans
All right.
in the eyes.
And you keep crying when the Cowboys lose in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's your life. Be
Jesus
proud of
trusts
that.
Judas.
Marcus,
Remember that.
great call. Follow the bailiff out. He'll show you to get the way out.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man. Brian in Boston. Brian, I hadn't heard from Kirk.
I just
since the Bruins beat the
I just
Maple Leafs.
envision Brian drinking a Sam Adams every time he calls in.
I was just seeing I just
Already,
envision
you know,
my
dressed up as
table,
Paul
napkin in the
Revere.
shirt, eating some spaghetti.
Yeah.
Give me the phone. I got to call.
He's just riding a horse. He's like, hey, hold on. 1 if I land, 2 if I see.
That's a great image, guys. That's exactly right. You nailed it.
Yes.
Before I get into the hockey, that call in front of me reminded me of when I was like, forget how old I was, but my mother got me a Curtis Martin Jets jersey after he got traded from the Patriots. And, I had to break the news to her that I would not wear that thing, and she returned it for me and got me a different one instead.
Nice.
But not happy.
Acquitted.
Yeah. So we got a big thing going on here in Boston. The talk around here is, are they going to stick to their plan? And it's one that I'm having trouble with because just on principle, I hate it, but I think they're going to do it. So I kind of have to hopefully be in favor of it. And I'm talking about the goalie situation. I don't know if you guys are aware.
You got to play Swayman, right? How do you not play him?
That's what I would like to see, but I think they're going to play Omar tonight.
Why?
They
See,
haven't
I don't
declared it
understand
yet.
this. Brian, I don't understand
Break
this.
it down for us.
So they literally have been, but they have two good goalies, which
Yep.
is like, if you guys know from watching football, right? If you have two starting QBs, you have no QB.
Yes.
Like, that's the way I feel. And they pay both of these guys decent amount of money in a hard salary cap league. So in my mind, one of them should have been traded and use that for another forward, defenseman, whatever. But anyways, they get the two goalies, and since mid-February, no goalie has played back-to-back games. They've literally rotated every single game back and forth. And they did that last year too. And then they got to the playoffs and they stuck with Olmark, and he was banged up. They stuck with him, and he blew a 3-1 lead. They went to Swayman only in Game 7 last year, which is a tough thing to do, throw someone in for Game 7. So all season long it was, we're going to rotate even in the playoffs, which it to my knowledge, I've never seen that done. You guys know as well as anybody, you ride a hot goalie in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's to me this is
it
becomes philosophical because on one hand you can't say, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because the way they were rotating obviously got them to the playoffs. So at some point it did work. But I'm from the school of once we get into the playoffs, not that you want to change everything, but the first guy, I'm going to ride the hot guy because he's not beat up. Swayman didn't beat. That's. You can't.
Oh, that's great. That goes in line with the choir.
Please, yeah, it does, Brian, doesn't it?
We're getting a lot of evidence. There's a lot of evidence coming forth.
I hate you so much.
Oh, God.
Hold on, you were riding the hot guy, and what happened?
Then what happened?
Play the goalie that's playing the best in the playoffs. Play Swayman.
But how do you know after one game?
Because he did really good. They gave up one goal.
Let me just get this straight, Brian. Brian, let me get this straight. Last year, the Bruins rotated goalies every single game and broke the record for the most wins in the history of the NHL in the regular season. And then when the playoffs started, they completely abandoned that strategy, played one guy, and they got bounced in the first round. And then now, this regular season, they've rotated the goalies every time, and they've gotten to the playoffs. Maybe we should try and just do what was really good and got
well, do you think maybe there's an argument, though, for during the regular season, you're playing a different team every night. During the playoffs, you're playing the same team. So if Swayman, some guys play better against some teams. Like I don't know the analytics.
Well, I don't like the rotation anyway. It's just like what we were talking about with quarterback. But if it led you to having the greatest regular season in the history of the sport, and then you change that in the first round and you get bounced, maybe that was the reason.
Well, in last year, it wasn't as back and forth as they went this year. Like Allmark definitely played a little bit more than Swayman. They might have done like 2 Allmark and then 1 to Swayman. Kind of did it like that last year a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I believe he won the Vezina for best goalie in the league too. Allmark last year. I'm pretty sure he did. So it's like obviously that's the guy you're going to kind of go with, but. He got banged up in the series, and they had a chance to go to Swayman last year when they were up 3-1. I think that's the time you make a change if you're gonna.
I don't love my pick now, Brian. I mean, I took the Bruins on Saturday, and I hit. I'm taking them tonight, and now you got me kind of nervous.
So they're not. So you think they're going to rotate tonight?
Okay.
I do. I think they're going to rotate. I feel like it's going to work, but the problem I'm having is just on principle. I hate it. So it's tough to like root for, but. It kind of is what it is.
Well, it's kind of like when I think it was the Rays started doing hey, we're going to throw the closer first, or have a guy go like 2 or 3 innings to start the game, and then like we're going to make this a bullpen game. Everybody's like, oh my, like that's the dumbest thing ever. Like, why would you ever do that? And then like it's like started working, and then like everybody started doing it. Sometimes, man, you gotta trying to think of a way to not make this sound gay, but like. Sometimes you got to carve a new tunnel if you want a new path, man.
Carve those tunnels, ride those hot guys.
Sounds good.
Brian, one last question before you go. What are the Patriots going to do at 3? I really think Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are both going to be gone.
Drake May.
I think they might like that. That's another one. That's been a fun story around here. A lot of the local guys have been pumping up McCarthy lately. So
at
like
3?
the sports radio up here.
Yeah, Gerard Mayo ain't drafting a white guy, buddy. I can go ahead and tell you.
So they're wondering if it's one of those things. Is it a smokescreen? They're trying to get people interested to maybe trade up for him, or are they trying to prepare the fan base around here for McCarthy, like trying to all of a sudden talk him up and get people excited about him? Personally, I think Penix is the best QB. Honestly.
I
really
man.
do.
I love Penix.
He just can't stay healthy, man.
No, I mean he has the last 2 years. I mean, he's the best pocket passer for sure coming out of this draft.
Absolutely.
I think Williams.
I don't think anybody. I'm sorry. I don't think anybody is like a stud either. I'm kind of nervous that it's one of those where we're all excited because there's 5 guys and no fries around, I guess. But we're just like we're all excited about those guys and. I don't know if any of them are generational talent.
Yeah, well, for sure. And look what you're asking somebody to do right away, really, if they're going to start as a rookie. You're asking them to come in and be better than Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah. Because those are the teams you're going to be playing twice a year to try and win the division.
Exactly.
The more I look at,
I'd rather them trade back. I'd rather the Patriots trade back if they could, possibly grab Penix and load up on some draft picks for future.
The more I look at this quarterback class, the more I think Drake May is the best quarterback in it.
I agree.
Wow.
The more I look at it. The more I look at it. But all right, Brian, thanks, buddy.
Great call, man. Sorry about Jake saying that.
All right, that's it for call-ins today, boys.
All right, make sure y'all call tomorrow. We need more calls than that. Let's go to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Sergeant Saggy Nips.
Good.
$5 donation. Loving the show, fellas. Loving the calls. Got to get Dave's thoughts on Michigan's spring game.
Yeah, look, like I said, first of all, Donovan Edwards was running the ball really well.
He's got to be y'all's leader, right?
Exactly. He's got to be the emotional leader.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not just on the field, but he's got to take over what Blake Corum was able to do. I saw a stat that said when J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum both suited up together and started a game, Michigan was 25-0.
Yeah.
That's
Defensively,
incredible.
man,
I mean, you're going to have to. So they're going to be good on defense. We know that. Donovan Edwards ran the ball really hard in the spring game. He took a step backwards last year in the regular season. You know, he was able to make up for that in the national championship by breaking records for rushing yards. He was the MVP in the national championship, for God's sakes. It's just tough when you're breaking in a new quarterback and an entirely new offensive line. If you could have one or the other, you know, that would be great.
Yeah.
I thought Davis Warren looked really great throwing the ball from the pocket, went through his progressions. Alex Orji, like I already said, he looks like Joe Milton, man. He's just a physical specimen. When the ball leaves his hand, it's out like that. If Davis Warren's going to have to go and be so much better throwing the football to win the job, because if it's even close, you're going to go with the athleticism of Alex Orji.
I think Michigan's going to be a lot more of a knocker ball version this year than they were last year because JJ was able to throw it. But I tell you, man, just the physicality standpoint, and I know I'm early. I'm not expecting Michigan to obviously do what they did last year. Nobody is, but I just like their physicality, man. I just feel like that stuff translates.
Colston Loveland's a part of that.
Yep.
Got a lot of Brock Bowers in him at the tight end position. What are they going to do at wide receiver? Like, who's really going to step up? I mean, you need a couple guys, not just one. When you're trying to go against the Buckeyes, like every year having those elite wide receivers, you've been able to get away with that with Harbaugh's brand of football the last couple years, just playing bully ball down the stretch late in November in the Big Ten. Obviously, that's going to keep going with Sherrone Moore being an offensive lineman himself. But at some point, you've got to move the football down the field through the air.
All right, let's go to CW. Says, as a non-Braves fan, I would collect their stuff just to trade to my friends for Ken Griffey stuff. Is this acceptable?
Yes.
Smart.
Yes. Creating your own black market. Genius move.
All right, let's go to New York. New York. Blaine, right now the Yankees are 15-7 and on top of the division. Could this year be the year?
Yeah.
You know it has to happen.
No, it will not.
You know it has to happen. I do want to say also, because y'all know we're going to keep it a stack. Not that I love it. Mets are 12-9, right? Braves 14-6. Phillies 14-8. Mets are 12-9. The question now becomes, when do they fall off the cliff? I'm going to give them, what are we in? We're in April. I'm going to say it's going to go good until about halfway through May. And this is going to do this. Puff of smoke. Like
That's what you do halfway through May?
Halfway
so
through.
what about the Yankees? So you're not even a Yankees fan anymore then?
Of course
You've abandoned your fandom?
No. Why would I abandon my fandom?
Well,
So
everybody.
what they did to you.
I
On,
don't want to abandon. They can't run me away from the Yankees.
Everybody in the division has a winning record right now.
The Orioles are
in
really
the-
good.
In the AL East.
AL East?
Yankees are 15-7. Orioles 14-7. Red Sox 13-10. Blue Jays 12-10. Tampa Bay is 12-11. I think that is
Red
the
Sox
only,
swept the Pirates this weekend.
Yeah, that is the only division where everybody has a winning record or at least 500. Yeah, the Rockies are god-awful. The Cardinals are showing us that they're slowly being god-awful. The Marlins, calling them god-awful is disrespectful to God and awful. But the craziest thing, Houston Astros, boys, last in the West Division, 7-16. But
Let it burn.
But not to be outdone by maybe the worst Major League Baseball team that I've ever seen, the Chicago White Sox, 3-18.
It's
And
bad.
to quote old boy from, I forgot that baseball movie, how the hell did we win 3?
I've been cleaning up fading the White Sox.
I know. I should bet it.
Not tonight, though. I don't like the pitching matchup they're going against tonight.
We'll see.
All right, let's go to Martin. What's up, Martin? Hey, whoever just donated, make sure you put a comment under that so I can get through. All right, Marge says, talk about a lot of QBs, not a lot of talk about Spencer Rattler. He'll be a sleeper in this draft.
Tweeted this out yesterday. I'm telling you right now, I think Spencer is going to be the sneakiest player taken in this draft. I want to lead a show off with it. It's draft week this week. I want to lead a show off with it, so I'm not going to tell you all the reasons why, but I think somebody's going to get an absolute highway robbery, John Dillinger, Johnny Depp type steal with Spencer Rattler. I really believe that.
Let's go to Atlanta, Mike. See the Braves fans in here. Jake, David, what are our thoughts about the Braves so far this year?
Well, we got our big injury out of the way, which always takes place in the first, month, seems, whether it's Acuna, whether it's Soroka, whether it's Fried. Now it's obviously Spencer Strider, which is looking like he's not going to be able to come back. The Braves are really, really good. I just would like to see us healthy for a month and a half just once in my life. Just once in my life. And I know there's 162 games in the Major League Baseball regular season, and it's absolutely ridiculous the amount, and people always get hurt, and it's baseball. But why can't it just be somebody bad? Why can't Chavez's arm fall off just for 1 year? Just not Spencer Strider. Come on, man. But no, we're good. We're good. I ain't worried.
I love it.
I don't worry about the regular season for the Braves anymore.
All right, let's go to War Chant. What's up, brother? I've already said it, but Drake May will be better than Kalen Williams.
I agree.
For the Bears, that's just my take. He needs to go at
I agree. All right, we'll get to bets and we'll get to donos. All right, our new markers are ordered. All right, so I wasn't able to draw it, so don't put that evil on me. Here's what I got. Why would I not take the Maple Leafs Bruins over? Why would I not do that?
I did the other day, and
Why would I not do that? I'm going to take the Maple Leafs Bruins over at 5.5. That's going off at -120. And then, going to double up a little bit here. Give me the Canes on the money line. All right. Then give me the Stars on the money line. That is +147. Wow. So Carolina money line, Dallas money line. Not bad for a little two-team.
Nice little two-team parlay there. I like that. All right. I'm going to go Bruins money line, -135, even though I'm a little bit nervy. Now we're talking about goalie issues on the rotation. And then Stars money line, -130, game one of that series. Looks like Baby Cone's going to be bet buds with you over 5.5 in in the Maple Leafs game. Then Canes -1.5 is going off at +105.
Just give me 3-3 going into overtime.
Hot right now betting. Hot. Back to motoring.
I mean, dude, everybody's hot right
now. Stay with the Nerfy train. 2-2, boys, I'm taking. Tigers, Tampa Bay Rays.
Love it.
Nerfy, that's going off a dirty -142. Then give me Mets, Giants, Nerfy, and that's going off a -150 bagger.
Love it.
You got to take some more bets, too, I think.
Okay.
I think you're back 6, I believe.
If you put an IDG before Mets, it would technically be the Midgets versus the Giants tonight. How cool would that be?
Give me the money on the Giants.
I don't know.
Bigger they are, harder they fall.
Listen, it's hard to throw a strike to a midget.
All right, let's get to some donations here. Let's get to a $5 donation from Jack Hogan. Ohio State is the new villain of college football. They're the ones that hired the PI to dig around Michigan.
Yeah.
Started changing the purpose.
New villains?
Nationally, I don't know. I think Kirby and Georgia's the villain now because I feel like everybody feels
they're
like
just really
the new
good.
Emperor Palpatine. Well, that makes you the villain, though.
Not always.
Doesn't it,
Not
though?
always.
Tom Brady?
Ryan Day's the villain.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand why you think that.
Let's go. $10 donation from Broken Devil Dog. Good morning. Looks like Michigan may still have a QB problem. Do you think the strong run game and elite defense can make up for that, or should they go find a quarterback in the portal?
We talked about it. I don't think they're going to get a quarterback in the portal.
No.
They're going to ride one of these guys.
Listen, I'll say that style of ball, and look, JJ made some really good throws last year, but let's not act. We know what the strength of Michigan was last year, was running the ball and playing defense. So I don't see that.
They're going to ride one of the hot guys.
Yeah.
No doubt
Jake's
about it.
favorite. All right, let's go to a $2 donation from Justin Alfier. Appreciate it, Justin. If Knicks win, would you call the Sixers for Embiid? We hit that earlier.
Yep, hit that earlier.
I would. All right, last donation of the day. Appreciate it, guys. Let's get to the poll. Will you miss the old signs of communication in college football?
No.
Yes.
I don't think the average fan is going to be able to tell a difference. I don't, because you're still having to signal in. Unless just so many teams start to huddle that it's noticeable, which I don't think is going to happen. I'm wondering what percentage of people are like, I don't want it. Like on the offensive side, here's the question. Can you just have the defensive guy wear it? Let's say if you're Lincoln Riley and you're like, offensively, I don't I don't want it. I don't want to change anything. We've done it this way. It works. Defensively, yeah. Put a helmet on the mic. Great. I love that. That's what I want to see.
No, 70%.
So I'm going to say no, 69%.
No, 57%. Yes.
A little torn there.
43.
I do think the tablet is a lot bigger deal than the mic and the helmet. I really believe that. Some people think I'm crazy. Well, it's the reason they try to put me in Arkham Asylum. But we appreciate you guys. Got a great show for you tomorrow. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Shout out to our sponsors, Shopify, Tax Network. Thanks to everybody that called in. Make sure you keep sharing the show. Keep telling people about it. We want to keep growing at a fast rate so we can keep bringing you this information. You can keep enjoying your mornings, evenings, afternoons, nights, whenever you listen to it. We appreciate it. And like the opening round of the NHL and NBA playoffs, we're going. Gone. The streak continues.